As I've said since the beginning, there are two America First candidates in this race. And earlier tonight, I called Donald Trump to tell him that I congratulated him on his victory. And now going forward, he will have my full endorsement for the presidency. And I think we're going to do the right thing for this country.
But, you know, I feel like the important sort of data point, and you know, Steve talks about it a lot. He's going to probably talk about it a little more tonight, is that these are white Christians. That this is a state that is overrepresented by white Christians that are going to participate in these caucuses, especially tonight. And I think to the point that you made, Steph, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. She's still a brown lady that's got to try to win.
What?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of crazy things took place last night. Being as I live in England, I've woken up to so much news. 2024 has started off in a very interesting way, to say the least. In this episode, as you can all see, we've got to talk about Trump's huge victory in the Iowa caucus, something that I think a lot of people were expecting. I don't think it's a huge surprise. There were some talks around maybe could Vivek Ramaswamy pull off a surprise here or there, but obviously that didn't happen. Now, before we carry on with this one, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really, really helps out the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, comment on this video, and share this video around. But as of making this video right now, 95% of the votes are in, and this is how they stand. Donald Trump has received 56,260 votes, arriving at the 51% mark. Ron DeSantis received 23,420. Nikki Haley received 21,085 somehow, some way. And Vivek Ramaswamy has 8,449 votes. So pretty big numbers there for Trump, right? And again, I don't think this surprises many people. This is the first time, obviously, people have had a chance to vote for Trump since 2020, and in the lead up to that, there has been a lot of controversy, but as we all know, it has just rallied people behind Trump more and more. But with all of this going on, woke MSNBC, no, they just couldn't help themselves, could they? They went on to explain that one of the reasons Nikki Haley lost is because she's a brown woman. Nikki Haley. I understand she's Indian, but I'm half Indian myself, and I don't think she's much darker than I am, so I don't know how that one makes much sense. They also bring up the demographic of Iowa. It's a white Christian place, and one of the reasons they vote for Trump is because they see themselves as the rightful inheritors of America, and Trump is going to give that back to them. Take a watch.
But, you know, I feel like the important sort of data point, and you know, Steve talks about it a lot. He's going to probably talk about it a little more tonight, is that these are white Christians. That this is a state that is overrepresented by white Christians that are going to participate in these caucuses, especially tonight. Earlier today, reached out to Robbie Jones, from the Public Religion Research Institute, knowing that we were going to talk about Iowa. And this is a hyper-evangelical white state. And he said the following to me: Iowa is about 61% white Christian. The country as a whole is approximately 41% white Christian. And in Iowa, we're talking about evangelical white Christians. And he said the following. Because I asked him, what do they get out of supporting Donald Trump? Because he keeps losing, he keeps delivering losses and losses and losses. And he said the following: they see themselves as the rightful inheritors of this country, and Trump has promised to give it back to them. All the things that we think about electability, about, you know, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
And the big picture takeaway from that, and I don't mean to be, again, too dark, as you said, on this, but it is not. If we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country, if we're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government, the leader who is trying to do that is part of that equation.
New Hampshire. And I think to the point that you made, Steph, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. She's still a brown lady that's got to try to win in a party that is deeply anti-immigrant and which accepts the notion that you can say immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. She's getting, you know, birthered by Donald Trump. And I don't care how much the donor class likes her, which will ramp up a lot the better she does in New Hampshire. So it's still a challenge. I don't see how she becomes the nominee of that party with Donald Trump still around. I can't picture it happening. Maybe it could happen. Ron DeSantis' only argument for staying in it is he's the white guy, that he can still make the appeal to white evangelicals.
What on earth are you on about?
The hate from these people, it's insane, right? So one thing you take away from that is apparently the Iowa voters are racist, even though 8,000 or so voted for Vivek Ramaswamy, 20-odd thousand voted for Nikki Haley, but just because Trump won, they're now racist. Yeah, surely they can't use the same excuse for every single state though. Right, yeah, you better start jotting down the next excuse you're going to use. But when you see people using rhetoric like that, it only makes the Trump victory in Iowa that much better, right? These people are probably tossing and turning in bed. They're struggling to sleep. They just simply cannot believe Trump is back. He's back. I swear, man, if Donald Trump manages to win, somebody find that woman, they/them, he, I don't know, I'm sorry for assuming, but record their reaction. We need... We need a 2024 version, we really do. But with the result in Iowa, we got some news surrounding the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign. He came out in a speech and said he's suspending his campaign and has now fully endorsed Donald Trump, which is kind of interesting to see. Right before the vote started, Donald Trump lightly attacked Vivek, and then you saw Vivek Ramaswamy in videos saying, look, if you want to save Trump, then you have to vote for me. So I guess it's kind of good these two can sort of come together. But Vivek went on to say this on X: this entire campaign is about speaking the truth. We did not achieve our goal tonight, and we need an America First patriot in the White House. The people spoke loud and clear about who they want. Tonight, I am suspending my campaign and endorsing Donald J. Trump, and will do everything I can to make sure he is the next US president. I am enormously proud of this team, this movement, and our country. And here's a clip of the speech that Vivek Ramaswamy recently gave. Take a listen.
Now, this is a campaign founded on speaking the truth. Not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Not just to the Democrats, but to our own side. And not just to other campaigns and candidacies, but to ours. And so I will stick to the truth tonight. The first hard truth, and this one's hard for me. I got to admit this. But we've looked at it every which way, and I think it is true that we did not achieve the surprise that we wanted to deliver tonight. And I think that that's just a hard fact that we're going to have to accept as a campaign. And the question then is, what do we do that is right for our country? And so Purv and I, we actually didn't make this contingency plan before everybody told us to. We said, no, we're not doing that. But we talked about it tonight. We took a little bit of time in our apartment in Des Moines before coming here to make some hard choices. And I wanted to make a couple of announcements tonight to get the business out of the way. And then I want to tell you where we're going. As of this moment, we are going to suspend this presidential campaign. And this is going to have to be, there is no path for me to be the next president absent things that we don't want to see happen in this country. And I think that I am very worried for our country. I think we are skating on thin ice as a nation. We have done everything in our part to make, and done, every one of us in this room has done our part to save this country. And I am so proud of every one of you who have lifted us up. But we're a campaign founded on the truth. And so that's why we've made that decision today. And I'm also making the decision that this has to be an America First candidate in that White House. As I've said since the beginning, there are two America First candidates in this race. And earlier tonight, I called Donald Trump to tell him that I congratulated him on his victory. And now going forward, he will have my full endorsement for the presidency. And I think we're going to do the right thing for this country. And so I'm going to ask you to follow me in taking our America First movement to the next level. It did not begin in 2016. It began in 1776.
I mean, that must have been a real hard thing to do, right? You've been campaigning for days, spending all your time and energy on this. And because the result hasn't gone your way, which I think they might have known anyway, but they had to suspend it now because they see what's going to happen. There is literally no point for them to continue at this point. It must have been real hard, and people are saying, look, why aren't Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis doing the same thing? And could that be because of their egos? They would hate to suspend their campaigns for somebody essentially like Donald Trump. And I think they are thinking, look, I want to beat him. They think they can beat him. I don't think it's going to happen at all. What we saw in Iowa last night, I think is going to be the trend going forward. I don't think it will change that much. I think you might see similar results, you know, Trump winning in a landslide victory. Again, we all know what this election is about. And from a British guy's perspective, I know a British person always talking about American politics gets the side eye. But for me and what I want to happen, it's simple. Democrats out, gone, right? The damage they've done to America and other countries and just the reputation of America itself is insane. And it's crazy to me, you know, liberals sit there and they go, well, if Donald Trump gets in, things are going to get worse. How can it get much worse? And then, you know, you think about the potential presidential debate between Trump, perhaps, and Joe Biden. Boy, that is going to be insane. I think anybody could wipe the floor with that man. I just don't see how Democrats sit there and think, yes, you know what, Joe Biden is the man for this election. Sorry? Like, how do they even believe that? It is delusional. Nothing new there though, right? But leave your thoughts down below on this one, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on Trump's victory in Iowa? I would like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating, as it really helps out the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, comment on this video, share this video. But until next time, until tomorrow, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.